I wish I had never woke up by punished double. It started with that dripping noise. My roommate had moved down for the summer, and now I'm completely alone. Or so I thought. I thought that I was over my scared of the dark bullshit, but there's nothing worse than being alone. Every little bump kept me on the edge, aggravating my self-induced insomnia, making me increasingly hate myself for being a grown man and acting like such a pussy. And for what? Because I'm alone in an apartment at night? Like any 18-year-old should be sometimes in their lives. My thoughts were interrupted by the dripping noise. It wasn't like dripping water. It was more viscous, more sticky, more warm. I crept towards my bedroom door, practically shivering at who, or even worse, what might be in the bathroom, waiting for me. I braced myself and opened the door just a crack. And between you and me, something amazing happened. And now I can talk to animals. It's really cool, but totally secret. And you know what? My life's never been the same. This is the Fear Fiction Podcast. In this episode, DP and Chelsea read a Wild Thornberries lost episode of Creepypasta. And you get the deal. It's smashing. Yes, indeed. Very smashing.
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 It's interesting that Wild Thornberries is probably more known for Nigel Thornberry than its main character, which is kind of interesting.
I mean, he is Tim Curry.
He is Tim Curry.
Tim Curry has a tendency to, outshine everybody else on projects by accident.
The meme going around of, Elon Musk going to space, and it's the last place unspoiled by capitalism.
Yes.
Space! And then, no. We're going to get the money dollars up there.
Yep.
How'd you think that you were going to get to space without money, Tim Curry? Okay, it's going to take a lot of money.
And a lot of dogs.
And a lot of exploitation of people in, subjugated, subaltern states. That's how you do it. That's how you use the poor people as fuel to get to space.
Isn't that the plot of...
That is the...
Spoilers.
Stop. That is the plot of thing that just Elias bleep out.
Watched.
We just watched it. It was good.
It was very good.
We just watched thing that we bleeped out. Anyway, we watched an episode of Wild Thornberries to refamiliarize ourselves with the material. I watched every episode as a kid. Did you?
I did not. I did not watch every episode.
Did you watch it some?
I watched whatever I could catch. However, I was not often allowed to choose things on TV. So a lot of the times for me, it was a choice between Wild Thornberries or, oh, hey, you get to watch Sailor Moon later, or do you want to watch this now?
Yeah, so obviously Sailor Moon wins over...
over Wild Thornberries.
Yeah.
Why
aren't we doing a Sailor Moon? There's got to be a Sailor Moon horror fanfic, right?
There's got to be somewhere.
It's got to be out there.
We should do that at some point.
Let us know if you want the Mooney cast.
The Mooney cast.
But we watched an episode. It was called Dancing with Dingoes, and it was an episode that's about gaslighting.
Yeah, all about gaslighting.
It was
It's okay to gaslight people if you have a magical gift.
So the premise of Wild Thornberries is that Eliza Thornberry, who travels around the world with her parents who make nature documentaries, can speak to animals, and she can't let anybody know about it, because then she'll not be able to talk to animals.
Because they're going to throw her in a lab and dissect her. And I think is her big fear.
Doesn't she also just lose the ability? She loses the ability. That's
Spoilers!
No! Does that happen in some episode? I can't remember.
I have no idea.
That probably does happen at some point. She probably breaks the avatar chain and can't... can't talk to animals anymore.
Right.
But this episode, her sister discovers her talking to animals, and the rest of the episode are aboriginals on a hilltop trying to convince her that she's hallucinating, so that way she doesn't tell her parents and let people know that her sister can talk to animals.
Right, and then throwing things into a fire.
They throw things into a fire,
which is not explained. However, Debbie, sister, seems to lose her grip on reality, and so does Darwin, their chimpanzee.
I feel like at some point there was a draft of the episode where it's just like, we're going to give her peyote.
We're going to drug her.
We're going to drug her, and she's going to think. And then they're just like, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's not do that as a story.
Yeah, actually, let's do it really subtly.
Let's do
I love
subtly
that.
To the point where it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. They're just playing. They somehow established that rainmakers, the rainmakers and didgeridoo somehow have an effect of hypnotizing people.
Right, but also in the background they're throwing things into the fire that is popping and then going off the edge.
Which I don't understand how that works necessarily. I mean, I guess you could throw...
I mean, I can tell you from experience that if you put, like, a uncooked hot dog in a bonfire, it explodes after about 3 minutes.
Mm.
And it pops really loudly, and you get little hot dog bits everywhere.
I mean, everybody's hot dog pops after 3 minutes every once in a while. Sometimes it's harder to...
Yeah.
Come on, big boy, pop out your hot dog.
Let me pop that dog for you.
Oh, my Lord. What was it? What were we talking? Oh, a raspberry. Hey, boy, you ever gotten a raspberry lollipop? Prostitute just offering you a raspberry on your ding dong.
Yeah, because why not?
You ever get a raspberry ding dong? I would not.
Wiggle.
I don't know what to do if a lot lizard threatens me with a good time. The Thornberry family has to have been.
They've had to encounter a couple lot lizards.
They had to, they got the camper van.
Yeah.
There had to have been a few times where that happens.
Right. It's only logical.
It's only logical.
Right.
You want a good time? Oh no. No.
You know where the animals are. Smashing.
You know where the animals are? It's like, yeah, there's some lot lizards out there. I'd stay away from them.
Oh, I've never heard of lot lizards.
In the same episode, he's editing the video because the mom can't for whatever reason.
Because she wants to make a little holiday for her girls.
Yeah, which is pretty cringe. That's a cringe mom thing to do.
That is a cringe mom thing that when your mom is over caring, that seems like the kind of thing she would do. I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know. Opposite problem. No, but if you have a nothing else to do, you might as well just go a little bit crazy. I think that if you only spend time around your family, you go a little bit crazy. Making
nature documentaries in a tiny camper 365 days of the year, you would probably go a little nuts. Nutmeg.
A little nutmeg. That was a fun episode. It's a pretty cool show. There were the dingoes. They had Australian accents. I'm a fan of that. Yeah. What I'm just going to say.
I also liked how the dingoes were like, "Hey, that white bitch over there. We're going to eat her.
We're going to eat this white bitch. White woman spotted."
Right.
Now, I'm just going to say it. It shouldn't be as hard to find porn with Australian accents as it is.
Is it hard?
It's, more difficult than it should be. Okay, listen, it's not hard, but it's more, that should be a tab, right? You have your, near the beginning, you got your Asian and your big, beautiful woman because, alphabetically. Yeah. Australian should be at the top of that.
Yeah.
I'm upset.
What would Australian porn look like?
Kangaroos?
Kangaroos? Is it just like a man boxing a kangaroo?
I would like to think that it's women drinking a beer out of their shoe and then throwing it on the ground. All right, let's do it. That's my plan, yeah.
That's what you think it is, okay.
Anyway, we're going to read a Wild Thornberries Lost episode.
Yes, we are.
Written by Schizima, I think. Schizima. And it's been narrated on Dave the Useless's channel. This is on his Wikia, of course. I don't know how familiar you are with Dave the Useless, but he is the trollpasta king, if that makes any sense.
I'm glad you explained that, because I know nothing.
if there's a trollpasta on the internet about a piece of pop culture, like 9 out of 10 of them have been written by him.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine like
He's a very
Peruvian Perific?
I'm trying to say
What are you trying to say?
I can't say it.
What are you trying to say, Blue?
Is there a Blue's Clues lost episode?
What? Let's look at our handy dandy notebook. What is Chelsea trying to say? We have a P. We have a U.
Prolific?
We have an R.
Prolific? Is that
She's
the word?
trying to purr. Or is Chelsea trying to give me a raspberry lollipop? I don't know.
Who's to say?
But he is a prolific author. Is that what you were trying to get at?
That is what I was trying to say, and then I stuttered and I couldn't stop.
And here we are 5 minutes later.
I guess you witnessed the whole thing, so I guess I didn't have to explain.
Chelsea has a stuttering problem. She's had it since she was a small wee child.
Wee lass.
And it's never gone away. She's basically David Koresh. Anyway, let's read the Wild Thornberries lost episode. I love it when we're just straight to the point of the title.
Yeah.
No flourishes, nothing interesting there. It's just, hey, here's schlock.
Get ready for schlock.
Enjoy it, okay?
Enjoy the schlock.
Did you ever watch the television series The Wild Thornberries? I never liked the show, but as a Nickelodeon employee, I certainly wasn't part of the target audience, whoever it was. Yeah, I worked for the company.
Bird.
That doesn't make any sense. I would imagine that there's plenty of cartoon adults that were...
We're cartoon adults.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're not like super cartoon adults, you know.
Yeah, but like...
But we are cartoon adults,
yeah,
for sure. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we rewatched Avatar The Lost Airbender.
That's...
You know?
More of like an adult cartoon show that happened to be a kid show. Like Korra, they just gave up. They're like, this is for adults.
Right.
But however, I would say there were probably cartoon adults. There were plenty of cartoon adults. Fucking Disney nerds are ancient. That's not like a new phenomenon.
No, it's not.
Featuring the antics of Eliza Thornberry, a little girl who talked to animals. The show lasted for 5 seasons, while acting and directing was fine. I personally felt that the show never really did much except fill time between the more popular and preferred Nickelodeon television shows like SpongeBob and Rugged Rats, for sure. However, I would say, taking that back, backtracking, playing a little bit of devil's advocate, I would say that this is a show much more targeted towards kids than something like SpongeBob, which has a lot of adult...
Has a lot of jokes in it.
Yeah, well, it's not even just that they're like adult jokes, it's like, it's very enjoyable to watch SpongeBob as an adult, and we watched Wild Thornberries just now, and we enjoyed it.
Right.
But I think the parts we enjoyed the most was Tim Curry.
Right.
Overall.
Tim Curry and the gaslighting, honestly.
The gaslighting was great.
And like the Aborigines who are just like, I don't fucking know if this is gonna work, magical girl who talks to animals. I ain't.
Yeah. It's like,
what
no,
do you think I am?
I like how she's like pleading. It's like, it has to work. This plan has to work. And the adult Aborigine guy who's just like chill and helping her out the entire time was like, it might.
It might not.
You weird entitled white woman.
Right.
Okay.
A lot of strange changes happened to the show, and honestly, something took a strange turn for the worse years after the original pilot intro aired. It was around season 3 when the show had pretty much developed into what it was, a low-budget animation shtick about a girl and her family that went on adventures as makeshift documentary filmmakers.
Are they makeshift documentary filmmakers?
I always got the impression that he's like a Steve Irwin knockoff.
That he's like
he's that universe's
he's a Chad.
Steve.
Yeah.
Steve Irwin.
Or at the very least, like, well-respected. Like, I am imagining he's getting on Disney Channel.
Right.
Not on Disney Channel.
Like
Discovery.
Yeah.
Discovery Channel. I imagine that he's getting on, like, Discovery Channel and stuff.
Right. I mean, who else, like, who can afford to do this year-round otherwise?
Yeah, how are they? They wouldn't be able to fund that anyway. We're already nitpicking this for no reason, but it is just like a weird element. I don't know.
Right.
I worked for Nickelodeon. I was pretty big in the company. I was... Okay.
Weird
Is this written by Dan Schneider?
Right.
I don't know. Also, another thing I wanted to pick up on, low budget animation. I thought it was like nicely animated.
Yeah.
That was one thing that like stuck out to me, is like a lot of shortcuts they could have taken, they didn't take.
Right, they chose not to.
There were like a lot, that episode specifically had a lot of running in it, and they didn't like cheap out. It was like...
Yeah, they didn't just like reuse the same animation over and over again.
Even something like, and it had pretty like quick pacing too. Right. So I was like, yeah. I worked for Nickelodeon. I was pretty big in the company. I was jokingly approved as the seal of approval guy. See, what a lot of people don't know is that hundreds of episodes never make it to cut for television audiences. We would often outsource our animation and writing to countries like Korea and SeaWorld employees.
That's pretty funny.
I can't tell if that's like supposed to be like a shit post or...
That feels pretty shit posty.
That feels shit posty.
I like that. I like that. That or it's like a big dig on SeaWorld, which is also hysterical.
Why would SeaWorld be animating? So, like,
right.
I'm guessing that this is a shitpost joke, especially since they're, like, Korea instead of South Korea.
Right.
But that is a true thing that happens. Like, you know, you look at King of the Hill, you think of that as quintessential American animation, and it's animated in Korea.
Right.
It's probably by the same people that animated Boogie Pop Phantom.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I need to commission somebody to do...
Hank of the Hill Boogie Pop Phantom.
Oh my God. Oh, Lord. But one day, a very odd episode appeared on my desk. I like that things like odd and strange keep showing up. It's like, and then something weird happened, and now I can talk to animals.
Oh my God.
I watched the episode, now I can talk to animals.
I can't talk to people anymore.
I can't talk to people anymore, and I'm also a dingo.
Oh no.
You watch, that's what it needs to be cursed in that way. You watch it, you turn into a dingo.
Exactly.
There was a little bit of Totally Spies fetish stuff going on in the so she had a dream because she got gaslit.
Right.
Pro gaslighting podcast. She had a dream that everybody was turning into animals, and it's like, oh my God, you just go back and
somebody has a transformation fetish.
This is where these fetishes come from.
Right.
Did they have the fetish, or did they think that was a cool thing to animate, and we watched it? Now we have transformation fetishes.
I mean, didn't that one guy who made like, oh my God, what was it, Astro Boy or whatever, have like a super fetish?
Super fetish
into like transformation and furry porn that nobody found out until he died, and like they looked into his desk and found hundreds and hundreds of drawings.
I like that they just like go into the desk and find the power level.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
I'm pretty sure that was him. Yeah.
So
somebody fact check me. I'm not going to do it.
Osamu Tezuka?
Yeah, that's the name. Yeah.
Well, there was no title. It was blank, and I'm not sure who sent it to me. It was disturbing. Who sent me such a tape? Well, as it turns out, nobody at Nickelodeon would send VHS, as we had DVD technology by then. But the sticky note near my desk that read, "From the parent company," was written in Sharpie in handwriting that I wasn't familiar with.
Oh.
Ooh, so are we going to get Viacom evil out of this? Yes.
I mean, yeah, totally. But also, I'm really hoping that it's just Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean accidentally deleted the episode.
Yeah.
And he's panicking, re-editing every frame of it. He just opens up the VHS, and there's parts of the VHS reel that are stuck together with tape.
Right? Oh my God.
That are stuck together with bubble gum.
Yes. Something strange was going on. Someone had written, "Take it, you concubine." On the back of the sticky note with a Sharpie. Wouldn't that bleed through I'm sorry, but sticky notes are not very thick. When you write on them with Sharpie, it bleeds through.
Yeah.
And that was all I ever learned before they fired me. Fantastic.
One, I'm hoping that the person who received this VHS with this sticky note is a man, because him receiving an insult of take it you concubine is pretty awesome. I absolutely
amazing.
Take it you concubine. Oh my Lord.
That's great.
That's going into the dirty talk repertoire.
Yes, it is. But who's saying it too?
Oh man, we need to go on a Tinder date, and that's.
We both say it at the same time.
Oh, take it, you concubine, and just don't stop saying it.
Right. Oh, shit.
Could you just imagine Eiffel Towering a woman just looking at doing the shake your head like, take it, you. Oh.
Oh, my God.
Man. I was in the office with Mr. Hefferman that day, and he insisted on me reviewing anything that showed up on my desk. I dusted off the VHS player, inserted the VHS, and pressed play. Big mistake. I should have quit immediately after getting this weird note in VHS. Quit immediately? I don't think that this is supposed to be like a trollpasta. That's one thing that's interesting about Dave the Useless, is that he does have this ability to like write a genuine story, and then like if his writing gets lazy, he'll put a shitpost in there to like spice it up. Okay. So it's really kind of hard to tell if he's like taking something.
Which direction he's going.
Yeah,
okay.
If he's like, I'm trying to make something schlocky but good, or I'm trying to make a pure shitpost. And it kind of gives you a little bits of whiplash.
Gotcha. It kind of like rides that line.
It rides that line sometimes.
Okay. The intro was the same. Every episode started with the same exposition. This is me, Eliza. Part of your average family. I've got a dad, a mom, and a sister, but something amazing happened, and now I can talk to animals. It's really cool, but totally secret. Click. The tape clipped a little. And the episode just started as she was talking to turtles.
She's just giving, like, turtles little bits of celery. It's like, take it, you concubine.
Oh, my God.
Take it, you little concubine.
I took out my notepad and began sipping an ice-cold slushie. One that was starting to melt. Not unlike my sanity would soon melt. Well, Nigel Thornberry looked very disheveled.
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 He put away all of his drag clothes. He was disheveled. I think that's interesting, though, that you get things like this that are very, like, ash can. Like, I was drinking a Slurpee, which is kind of like a weird, like, that immediately sticks out in your mind, because how often do you think about Slurpees?
And then also just take it, you concubine.
Take it, you concubine.
It sticks to you. It sticks to the ribs.
The Slurpee and then the metaphor of, like, my sanity would melt, like, that's such like a...
That's good.
Oh, that's such like a, hey, I had this bad day at work kind of thing. And, like, you're venting about it in a fun, frustrating way. Right. It makes me, put myself in this position. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm, like, visualizing what I've seen of Nickelodeon Studios behind the scenes in bits. I don't know about you, but I'm, like, I'm there.
You're there?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember how to pronounce disheveled.
There you go.
There we go.
That's how you do it. Disheveled.
Oh, no. The episode focused a lot more on Nigel Thornberry and his personal issues. We just see a silhouette of him and he's yelling. It was really loud and I had to lower the volume.
Smashing.
I want a divorce. I can't do his accent.
I want to smash these nuptials. I'm going to break up with you. His wife is just like, I want to break up with you after smashing that concubine.
I presumed this was the wife, or Mary Ann, as the fucking developers called her. Guess he doesn't like that name. I'm sick of these fucking animals. Our daughters have scabs and lesions and ticks. You hear Nigel yelling angrily, I make you sausages, bitch. There was some talking. I had to rewind to listen carefully as it was very audibly indescript.
Okay, yeah, in the script. So, like, that's kind of a weird way to use that, but yeah, I don't know what that means.
I just want a normal life, a normal family, not forcing our children to go on African adventures with a fucking chimpanzee. I want a house, I want a car, a house, a dog. I just want a normal life.
Well, they have a house and they have a car. They are the same thing.
Yeah, and they also kind of have a dog.
Who's a human boy.
Yeah. The sound of a gunshot or a door slamming was heard, but it was almost inaudible. The screen got very grainy, and for the entire animation duration, only the porthole window on a boat has been seen.
That's such a good name for a animation block on TV of just filler shows. Welcome to animation duration. You're here for the duration of it. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye. That's the shit TV show, just absolute filler.
Yeah. This was disturbing and low budget for Nickelodeon.
No.
Nickelodeon?
Nickelodeon.
For Nickelodeon.
I see, again, it feels like he's just writing this out and then, like, misclicked it, and he's like, I don't want to go back.
I'm not going to fix it.
I'm not going to fix it.
I like it. The show was already recorded on a shoestring budget. That's why such a mediocre show ever made it past me, the seal of approval man.
That's a weird thing to put yourself out.
He keeps, like, bragging about being the seal of approval man, and it's just like, were you though, bud?
Devil's advocate. Is this person, not the author, but the narrator, a douche?
Yes, the narrator is a douche. I don't think the writer is. The writer's pretty funny, but, like, the character himself comes off pretty douchey.
Yeah, that's an
He
interesting...
might smell preteen feet.
He might. Yeah, this is,
you know,
for all intents and purposes, the narrator is Dan Schneider.
Yeah, just assume it's Dan Schneider.
Well, this implies
it's like Dan Schneider's assistant.
Yeah, because Dan Schneider didn't get fired after
doing horrible things to children. Yeah.
Elias, make sure I don't get arrested. I thought I was a top dog. I thought I was a professional. I thought I had a reason to persist. But then it happened.
This is me, Eliza, part of your average family. I've got a dad, a mom, and a sister. But something amazing happened, and now I can talk to animals. She was talking to an antelope, while the antelope just stood there, not talking back. It was a normally rendered antelope, not a highly animated one.
I don't know what that means.
I mean, I just kind of am imagining like a Disney rendered antelope in the middle of Wild Thornberries animation.
It's weird because it's like a normally rendered, as opposed to like, is this like a photorealistic antelope or is this?
It's just Bambi. He can't tell the difference between deer and antelope.
Where the deer and the antelope play. The antelope couldn't talk. What the hell was going on? What the fuck was Nickelodeon Studios planning? That was when the monkey, which I found out was named Darwin, came out. Why are they finding out about the show now? They greenlit it.
Right? Again, that's why I think he's like a dude. He's like just finding out about the show and he's just like, I'm the man of approval. No, you're just a douche that like wants to seem higher and mightier than you are.
Well, Chelsea, from our job, I can tell you that the people above us are always paying attention and have their finger on the pulse of what needs to be done. Management knows what's up, okay?
You know, I've never worked at a place where management has ever known what's up.
No, not really.
Every place I've ever worked, management has always been lacking, in my personal opinion. Personal
opinions here for fuck you. Found out his name was Darwin came out. I suddenly became very angry, and I stood up and very angry. What was Darwin's theory of evolution doing on a show?
Oh my god, it's just like a fucking anti-evolution.
Oh man.
Person. I can't think of the word right now.
So let me get this straight. The premise of the show is that a monkey that didn't evolve with the rest of us, because evolution is real, they travel around the flat globe.
Right, maybe he's a flat earther too. Oh, do you think maybe he believes in like the moon dragon?
No, because the moon dragon is based in red-pilled, and I believe in the moon dragon.
What about moon Nazis? You think he believes in moon Nazis?
Moon Nazis might be an issue. I don't think that they're going to be a real threat when it comes to facing down the dragon. The dragon. I have never met. So like you get your unlikables, your Nazis out there. I've never met one that could stand up to a dragon, which
American dragon Jake Long will protect us.
Why haven't we elected American dragon Jake Long?
Because we have made incorrect choices with our lives.
I'm just saying, you want a country that's peaceful, where everyone gets along. Why don't we have any dragons?
Yeah.
China's over there, hoarding all the goddamn dragons.
Well, Wales has at least one dragon.
Wales does have one dragon. That's true. I don't know how the dragon ended up there, and why the dragon chooses to be a lazy bitch and lay in the river all day. In the lake. Whatever body of water.
The pond.
The Loch Ness river dragon.
Isn't Loch Ness in Scotland?
Yes, but I thought that's what we were referring to.
Oh, no, I was referring to the dragon on Wales' flag.
Oh. So they haven't
I was
elected
not
one.
referring to Nessie.
Nessie. All right. I was confused. I'm like, wait a second.
Anyway.
Here we are.
Just confused.
What was Darwin's theory of evolution doing on a TV children's show? I don't want politics in my TV.
That's better than, like, the Darwin Awards being featured in the Wild Thornberries.
I don't know. That bitch almost got eaten by dingoes.
You know, she did.
She almost.
She was very close to being eaten by dingoes. But that is an occurrence that happens, so...
Mm-hmm. Dingoes have been known to eat a baby or two, according to the mainstream media. Why does this happen, you might ask? No dragons in power. Systematically kept out of power. Elect a dragon, okay?
Or release a few dragons in the wild, they'll eat the dingoes, and your babies might be safe.
It's like, okay, we have 3 people on the stage for a presidential debate. Obviously, the American public is very worried about term limits and how old a person can be. Trump, you're extremely fucking old. Biden, you don't seem to know where you are. And Dragon, you are, according to your Wikipedia page, 8,000 years old. How are any of you able to serve?
How are any of you still alive?
And the dragon just goes and shits out some gold out of its mouth.
No, it just burps up like a whole skeleton.
It's just a king from the previous era.
Yes.
It's just a skeleton with undigested gold robes.
Yes, and like a crown.
Just a bunch of Republicans in the audience is like, I'm voting for that guy.
That guy can protect our borders.
He was here. He helped us liberate from
Canada.
That dragon served in the war. Which war? The first one.
All of them.
To that dragon, beer is a relatively new invention.
Hasn't beer been around since Mesopotamia or something?
I think it's been around for 5,000 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so it would be new to the dragon.
Well, yeah. I mean, the dragon would think of it in the same way that we think of the song Party Rockers in the House Tonight.
Okay.
That's where it is on its time scale. Oh, yeah, that song, that came out 4,000 years ago. Oh, yeah.
That's a song.
Yeah, it's a good song. I like beer. The fuck?
What are we doing?
What are we doing? Maybe it was a coincidence. Today, I'll never know. Nigel Thornberry decided to take his family to McDonald's in Africa. His wife was nowhere to be seen.
Eat your caribou sandwich. He had a crooked nose and a bushy orange mustache, rendered in highly graphic detail. Just the mustache. He was disheveled, and the jewel...
Please, Story, bring up disheveled again. It gets funnier every time.
Stop bringing it up, Story, I beg you. He was... And the jewel-eyed miscreants were hungrily scarfing down their ants and coconut milk. What happened next seriously concerned me, and I swear to God, it's all real and happened. Eliza Thornberry started talking to the ants. Do you want a french fry? What? They sprayed insecticide on you. Nigel Thornberry suddenly looked very angry. Why is my daughter talking to fucking ants? He got pissed off and called 911. She was still talking to the ants. The french fryers are going to fry you. Nigel Thornberry grabbed her arm and dragged her outside, where an ambulance was waiting.
I'll have to ask my African coworker if 911 is their emergency number in Africa.
I highly doubt it.
Maybe, you know what? I've always wondered about that, though, because it's so popular in American media, and we export so much media that at some point, wouldn't it just be practical to go with 911 if you're in another country because it shows up in the media?
I honestly have no idea.
It's an interesting proposition.
I mean, you could probably look it up, but who knows?
The real question is McDonald's considered an American embassy?
Mm-mm. Can you take refuge on McDonald's grounds?
Yeah. We bring America to wherever a McDonald's is.
Yes. The sun never sets on the McDonald empire.
It literally doesn't. It doesn't, Chelsea.
My daughter has schizophrenia and she hears voices. I mean, it made sense. All that time alone in the African savannah with the family denying her normal social interactions with her peers.
That is like a element of the show, is that the sister, who is clearly like the more sociable and popular one,
the older one that probably had more of a childhood,
is not able to associate with anyone. And so it super pisses her off that Eliza, who is like a loner, doesn't seem to ever be lonely, but she's not lonely because she's talking to animals. That is like a cool premise.
Right.
I would say that if you look at something like Walmart is, I think, mostly in America. I don't think that there are many Walmarts outside of America. Here's how big McDonald's is. McDonald's colonized fucking Walmarts. Isn't that crazy to think about, that you get McDonald's inside of Walmarts?
Okay. Like
this is such a monopoly.
Like that McDonald's tumors showing up in Walmarts.
It's like getting cancer in your AIDS.
Yeah. Oh no.
Sir, I don't know how to tell you this. Your tumor has AIDS.
Your tumor has AIDS.
I sighed as the film clipped again, put my face into my palms as I heard the narration. Again, you want to do this?
This is me, Eliza, part of your average mental asylum. I've got a dad, a mom, and a sister. But something amazing happened, and now I can talk to Shampoo. Okay, so there are two veins you can go in this imagining of this sentence. Either she's talking to shampoo bottles, or Rama half shampoo just showed up.
Same thing with magical animal shit.
Yeah.
And now I can talk to pandas.
And now I can talk to cats.
One, indeed. Eliza was now in a padded cell, talking to Shampoo. The Shampoo just sat there, barely animated. Barely animated Shampoo.
Shampoo, yeah.
It was the single frame painted into the background. What? She said. The soap is harassing you? Nigel Thornberry looked really pissed off. He had bloodshot eyes and looked like a vein was about to pop out of his neck. My parents, he started. My parents hunted lions, and my daughter talks to fucking soap. Now I'm just imagining it's Soap McTavish from Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
She's just in a room with a Call of Duty character and Shampoo from Run the One Half.
Yes.
He took out his elephant gun. Oh my god.
And I whip out my elephant gun. I shut the tape off. I didn't want to watch some show where a girl talks to fucking soap. I made several notes about how a child talking to soap wasn't smart, intelligent, or even interesting.
Why do you need an elephant gun? What if an elephant attacks my house? It could tear my house down, just run right into it.
Right.
See, here, right there, tire.
Yeah.
Tire elephants.
Yeah.
Elephant on tires.
Elephants on tires.
.com. I saw someone like, should somebody be allowed to buy a cannon? I don't know how to tell you this. That's perfectly legal in all 50 states.
You can legally own a cannon you have the money and the desire to.
When you think about it, a cannon is just a less portable elephant gun.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I'm not wrong.
That is a good thought experiment.
That's the issue, is that I'm not wrong. You want to continue on?
As I went to shut the tape off, I suddenly hesitated as Nigel Thornberry abruptly started to scream. A lot of people must understand how soap works, he said. A lot of people assume that the soap is just there to smell nice, but actually there are tiny machine elves working overtime to improve your body odor, cleaning your incisors with their sparkling magic elf teeth, and nothing is ever really clean or real. Everything is dirty and broken, but nothing's going to clean your soul. Click. That was when my phone rang, and I assumed it was just my boss or another Nickelodeon employee. As I was in my office and the slushie was starting to melt into a puddle, high fructose and perspiration.
Into a puddle, high fructose and perspiration. I understand the premise that they were going for, and that really sucks that they had improper grammar, because that's a cool...
Like, that is a very cool visual that, like, just grammatically did not work out.
Yeah, they could have...
Just, my slushie was starting to melt into a puddle of high fructose corn syrup and perspiration. Just
right.
Like 3 or 4 more words, and that would have been great.
You know, and they flubbed it. Just like, there's one small step for man... one giant leap. It's like, my God, my guy. Like, why'd you leave that giant pause there?
Wasn't he thinking about like making a joke there, and then he decided against it?
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, you fucked it up. That's kind of like the most historic thing that has ever happened ever, so...
Right.
And you fucked it up in the moment? Oh, you choked?
Right. See, that's how you know it wasn't faked, though.
Yeah.
Because, like, Stanley Kubrick would have been like, we need to redo this 5,000 fucking times. We need to do it on the actual moon, and you need to redo your fucking lines. And then he would have terrorized all the astronauts for funsies.
And then he would have smoked a cigarette and been like, I should have put that hatchet into fucking Shelley Duvall's head.
There you go.
There we go.
Poor Shelley Duvall, honestly.
Yeah, it sucks. That's Hollywood, kid. Sometimes you directors...
terrorize someone until they can't function as a human being anymore.
It's just typical Hollywood behavior, okay? You want to make a good film here? You want that Oscar? When I picked up the phone, I became very angry, very, very angry, and stood up and angry, and appeared as someone was playing a prank on me. This is me, your boss, part of your average employees. I've got a janitor, an HR executive, and your sister, but something amazing happened, and now I can talk to shitty employees.
For some reason, I'm, like, reading this, and I'm like, this should be, like, a really crappy rap. Like, just that section right there.
That's such a fun... I like how reality is breaking down in this story.
Yes.
It's kind of clear. It's kind of hard to follow, like, the plot of what's going on because it keeps getting weirder and, like...
But I like it, though. It's getting more and more surreal, and I appreciate it.
There are supernatural elements in something like Squidward's suicide that kind of, like, make it less real. And I don't know how to feel about that. And a lot of people have a lot of opinions about that. But in here, it's so surreal from the get-go that it's fun, you know?
Right.
It's really built into it. I slammed the phone down angrily and stormed out of the boss's office and angry. I locked his door and angry, and the employee's comment card box was open.
I was concerned, to say the least. I opened the employee comment card box to find another VHS? What the fuck? It was the same episode, I think, but part 2 was written in Sharpie. Honestly, the last episode was only 5 minutes long, so it didn't need to have a second part on a different VHS. VHSs were designed to hold entire films, not some weird Lost episode where a kid was fucking talking to fucking ants. I went back to my office and put the tape in, but someone had shoved strawberry jam into the VHS tape player.
They did that wrong. They should have said jammed strawberry jam in there.
Oh, that would have been better.
Or jammed strawberry shoved.
Yeah. Made you think. A saboteur. Someone was trying to take my job. Ants are all over. Red fire ants.
Oh, the strawberry jammer.
Trying to eat the jam/jelly. Well, which one is it? I shoved the VHS in there and it played, but barely.
You know what the difference between jelly and jam is?
I eat both of them.
That's what's same about them. I said, what's different about them?
Oh, see, I misheard you. I'm so far from you.
I can't jelly this VHS tape into the machine.
Nigel Thornberry was eating a delicious jam sandwich on toast while the severed heads of the other cast members sat above the mantel.
I must say, I enjoy a good crust. He squinted. That wasn't the joke, huh?
I squinted.
I squinted.
Yeah,
he didn't squint.
No. He was enjoying his sandwich too much.
I would imagine that he would also squint from the pure joy of the crust.
Yeah.
On the sandwich. Filled with jelly and or jam.
Clearly.
That wasn't the joke. He was just eating the crust. That wasn't the joke. And then he started to talk. This is me, Nigel Thornberry, part of your average hunters. I've killed your dad, your mom, and your sister. There's a severed head. I found it. And it's Darwin. He's a lie. Everyone knows natural selection is the truth. Oh, yeah. About my house, it's full of dead people because they piss me off. Because I pissed me off. You see, I host this nature show and my wife's severed head shoots it. But something amazing happened and our daughter has schizophrenia.
Jesus.
I gotta say, I'm a fan of the story.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
It keeps doing like weird little things that piss me off, and then it keeps bringing me.
And then it immediately brings joy.
It brings you back in.
It's like a really fun back and forth emotionally.
Yeah, that's So this was the same thing with their Frasier Lost episode, where it's just like, oh my god, this is so insane that I can't.
There's a Frasier Lost episode?
Yes.
Did we read that?
We read it, but you're a bad girlfriend and don't listen to our podcast.
Yeah, you're right. You're not incorrect.
Yeah. You should do something about that.
I should.
If
but am I?
Yeah, but will you? Elia should also upload the episode to other podcast formats, but, lazy son of a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to your first 11 episodes over and over and over again because you don't upload to CastBox.
Talk to Elias. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Pay him money.
Well, you're supposed to give him a new Etch-a-Sketch, aren't you?
It's really unfortunate, but totally secret. And you know what? Life's never been the same. He takes out a gun and shoots himself in the head, and the show just cuts to the silent credits. I immediately got an email saying that I was fired and removed my sandwich from the employee fridge. Oh my god, that's so perfect. Like, you're fired. Okay.
You're fired. Please go grab your fucking sandwich from the fridge.
But I left it there and it's growing moldy. Yeah.
Precisely.
That's why you're fired.
That's what I was about to say.
It has nothing to do with this VHS.
It has nothing to do with this weird animation snuff film
you made. No, I didn't make it. You sure you don't have schizophrenia? Hey kids, if you have a VHS tape that you put in and it's telling you that the person in the VHS tape has schizophrenia, you probably have schizophrenia. If you're listening to a podcast where schizophrenia keeps getting mentioned, you probably have schizophrenia and you just don't realize it. See, this is a pro gaslighting podcast. Yeah. Welcome back to Gaslighting News Network. First off, you're in huge fucking danger. Oh my god, you gotta do something about that.
You gotta do something. Also, everything in your fridge is expired. You just bought it yesterday, but it's already gone bad.
That might need to be a new sketch segment.
Yeah?
Gaslighting News Network. There's something there.
That might be fun.
I'll completely forget this, and then somebody please put comments of whether you want Gaslighting News Network or not.
Alternatively, don't say if you want it or not. Just put the phrase over and over again in the comments.
I was very angry. Oh, no, that's not where we're at.
No.
Hold on. I'll just be silent for a second. Upon approaching the fridge, I found that someone had unplugged it and the ants were feasting on my sandwich. I got really angry now. Murderously angry. So, like, earlier I was doing the blah, blah, blah and angry thing. This anger keeps coming up in this. And I like that. I like that this person is repetitious. Again, the narrator of this story, completely shitty person. I love that. It's really good. I keep thinking that it's being written by Dave the Useless, but it's written by this schizima person. They're knocking it out of the park. Now we're getting the ants in real life. The ants were in the tape in the lost episode. Now they're in real life.
Right.
This is excellently written. This is like a trollpasta. It's like supposed to be schlocky.
Right.
But it's so well written.
It's like cracks treated seriously.
It's tracks treated. It's just tricks for kids.
Tricks is for kids.
It's crack is for canon haters. I don't know. I found that someone had unplugged it and the ants were feasting on the sandwich. Got really angry now. Murderously angry. It was enough to lose your job, but another employee take my sandwich? I was very angry and felt the need to complain to one of the higher-ups. You know, those guys that twiddle their thumbs and masticate to Japanese-drawn cartoons.
I'm sorry, sir, but it's called hentai.
It's called shampoo from Ranma 1/2. Some people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck is Ranma 1/2 and what is shampoo?
Watch a couple episodes. Tell me she's not a cutie pie. I had a huge crush on her when I was a teen, so...
I don't know where the fuck you were watching Ranma 1/2.
With my cult friends, with my Christian cult friends.
Oh, yeah.
It was like the only anime they could smuggle along with Inuyasha.
That's so weird.
It really was.
Our
I remember too,
weird local Christian cult has a thing for Romako Takahashi's.
It really was weird. And then I remember none of us were allowed to watch The Exorcist. So there was one night where we had a sleepover in one of the girls' basements. And somebody smuggled The Exorcist under their shirt past her parents. into the basement and we waited until they went to sleep, and then we all watched The Exorcist, and we were all just like, why did any of our parents make a big deal about this? Also, why did we waste our time watching this? We could have been watching hentai.
Yeah.
Because we are in a weird Christian cult.
The Exorcist is one of those things like GoldenEye for the N64, where it's like, why is everyone hyping this up?
I mean, it was partially like, why are we hyping this art up? But also like, oh, Satan's gonna get you if you watch this. It's Harry Potter, Satan.
Yeah, anyway, here where we live, we have a local Christian cult. They're very weird.
They recently rebranded because they got outed as a cult, which is hysterical.
Which is cult behavior. If you're rebranding,
well,
listen.
It's funny because they're like, oh, nobody's going to catch on that we're the same people. And it's like, you have all the same buildings.
Buddy.
You just did a name change.
Buddy, this is rule number 101 of cult getting caught being a cult, is change the name and do nothing else. Maybe fire one person and then...
I don't think
no, they did. I'm sure they didn't. But you get that with whatever that weird cult ran by that Indian fellow was.
Oh, yeah, the one in
Rajneeshpuram. Rajneeshpuram, yeah. It's like you get all these... It's like, bud, that's the first thing you do. It's like all of the scared straight places where you send kids for like detention. They're like ran by cults, and they're just like...
Oh, yeah, and then they torture
and they
keep
rebranding. Mentioned David Koresh earlier that you know, that's a cult of a cult of a cult where they kept spinning off from the cult because of disagreements with the cult. It's like, listen.
Well, what's really funny is you're just basically describing our anime conventions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, those have a lot of cult-like behavior.
They do. Okay. Anyway.
Where
were we at?
That was a fun aside. Another sandwich was there, a Wild Thornberry sandwich. I unwrapped the mysterious lunch selection and took a bite.
That was when the ants started to talk. It was barely audible, but just a whisper. They stole your job, the ants whispered. Ants don't talk. What was this? That was when the dishwasher started to talk as well. What do you mean everything talks? The universe is just a slow vibration, and all consciousness is just subjective, and everything is alive and well and in you. I picked up a napkin to clean jam crust off of my mouth, and it started to scream. The napkin was bleeding, and it began to cry.
I love how existential this is getting.
This is getting really existential, and it's great.
I can't go back to work now. I can't live a normal life. Every time I inhale, I am committing genocide on bacteria. Have you ever considered that? Like, you know, like, what if everything has consciousness? Isn't that, like, fucking awful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, like, you have to try to find a way to get yourself out of that mindset once you're in it. Otherwise, you get really depressed and, like, it gets real weird.
Yeah, it gets real weird, which is, I think, part of the reason why some people go the route of becoming vegans and stuff, and they're so insistent about it. Like, whenever you get, like, a really quote-unquote annoying vegan, I think it's because they kind of go down this, like, psychosis, this anxiety of, like, dealing with these kinds of thoughts.
Dealing with those kinds of thoughts does involve a certain amount of compartmentalism, I think. You
have to compartmentalize as a human. Like, and so I don't judge anyone for doing that. I just am saying that's why I think a lot of vegans go down that road, is they get that huge amount of anxiety of like, oh God. There is like that, one thing that triggered those kinds of thoughts in me when I was younger is there's like a bacterial wipe that like kills 99% of germs. And there's a commercial that's like supposed to be funny where like a Buddhist uses it and like reads the label and has a panic attack. And I'm like, that's not funny. That's fucked up.
That's kind of fucked up.
That's kind of fucked up. Every time I inhale, I'm committing genocide. The universe is fine-tuned. The universe is fine-tuned to piss you off. God is a real prankster. Prankster, Pinkie Pie? Prankster. I mean, he or she, or it, set up this whole universe just to piss you off. Kill yourself. The mustard hissed. Mustard's not an animal. Mustard's not an animal at all. I guess I have it in. I guess I gave in. Nickelodeon won. I don't know what I was talking about. You can't draw this. You can't draw indescribable pain. You can't draw this. I think indescribable is spelled wrong. But the point is...
Point remains. I am a unicorn caretaker now. I take my job very, very seriously.
Chelsea and I are also unicorn caretakers. I fucked up the word the same way you did.
You did. High five.
High five.
We're rubbing off on each other. It just took 15 years.
We're waiting until after marriage to rub off on each other.
Oh, no, I forgot about that having a different meaning. Okay.
Sorry for all the blatant sex jokes in this episode. I don't know why sex is on the brain.
If you cross me, I shall strike you down and break you and burn you, and I will ensure that not a microscopic piece of you remains. There will be no funeral, no eulogy, no reference to you, not even an urn to hold your remains, and I will break
End of quote, Joseph Stalin.
Oh my god. But really, though. And I will break those pieces into smaller pieces. And then I will turn Cusco into a flea. And I will put that flea in a box. That bit's so great.
That's a good bit.
And I will break those pieces into smaller pieces until not even the very idea of you consists of much more than the vague recollection of a thing that may have happened in someone's mind somewhere. And nary a fool with a twinkle in his eye would dream that your existence ever was or is anything, as you are just the idea of something, and that idea is no more. A voice in someone's head, an imprint, and everyone will tell everyone else that that voice isn't real, that you are not real. And in that final moment where what is left of your being is dispelled through therapy and medication, that last bastion of being locked in the subconscious of someone else and slowly pushed back until one thread remains, and I will cut that thread, and you will cease to be no longer, for being is a state reserved for things, and you are no such thing, not even a memory of a dream within a dream. Nothing.
You have...
Damn, what a fucking good react.
That's insane. That is insane. There's one thing you said wrong there, and it's really subtle and really smart.
Sorry.
Okay, no, check this out. Mm-hmm. I understand why you said it, because my mind auto-corrected it.
Yeah.
For being is a state reserved for things, and you are no such. It doesn't say no such thing.
Oh, you are no such.
You are no such.
You are no such. Not even a memory of a dream within a dream. Nothing.
So it's like cutting out the thing
because thing doesn't even belong. That's good.
So then we have like a little page break thing, and it says, "This is me, part of your average employees. I got a car, a house, and a dishwasher. These are dead ants. We found him."
Oh, there are dead ants.
There are dead ants, and we found him. You are a dead sandwich.
And a dead sandwich.
And a dead sandwich. He found us. Oh, yeah, and about our office. It moves because we are fired all over the world. You see, my animators host this nature show and my director shoots it. Okay, so we're not that average. And between you and me, something amazing happened. And now I can talk to sandwiches. Well, it's really cool, but totally secret. And you know what? I'm in your fucking house right now.
No, you guys say that really ominously.
Okay. And you know what? I'm in your fucking house right now.
Bam! That was good.
Bam pow. Pow bam.
Pow.
Pow.
Pow. There is one comment.
What is the one comment?
The title card can't talk. That's the comment.
This was an excellent, excellent story.
I greatly enjoyed that. When was this written?
It had to have been. I don't know.
Okay.
I always have trouble navigating these fandom sites. I hate fandom.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of wiki fandom sites, personally.
No. However, that was an absolutely fantastic episode.
That was good.
Of the Fearfic Podcast. You can fuck off now.
Bye.
This has been the Fearfic Podcast. Your hosts on today's episode were Chelsea and DP. Music by Abysmii. Art stuff by Chelsea. Edited by Elias the Intern. Intro trollpasta by Double. Stay tuned for reflections on Wendy's Innovation Labs, featuring more of Abysmii's music. Commenting and liking is pretty cool, etc. Subscribe and the whatnot and angry. Oh, I'm unsure how I made it out alive, but I escaped the Wendy's Innovation Lab with a horrible secret. See, most fast food restaurants have a food lab where they test out new items for their menus. Wendy's is no exception. But their public labs, where they have volunteers come and try new experiments, is only one element. Everyone knows about that. It's publicly available knowledge. But underneath the public lab is an elevator that takes you to their devilish lab, an ultra-secret lab that only one person has ever escaped from. Me. I used to work there when I was kidnapped from my research post at Captain D's testing lab. They kept me there as a slave, developing a new invention based off of my terrible research. It would have been unethical to bring this eldritch food into the world. I just hope it's not too late. Time is of the essence, so I can't explain how I escaped. Just know, don't try Baked Potato 2. For years, Wendy's has been engineering a new kind of baked potato, so they can corner the market and take down their rivals. The humble organic potato hasn't been enough to dethrone McDonald's or Burger King, so they've gotten aggressive. Baked potatoes are okay, but they don't have any of that oomph. That's why I thought of putting salt on potatoes. Yes, that was me. I invented that. Not long after, I invented bacon potatoes. And then some years later, cheesy potatoes. I warned my colleagues in the baked potato field. I mean, that's the scientific field, not fields with baked potatoes. That'd be silly. They're raw in the fields. I warned them, don't fly too close to the sun. The baked potato arms race will kill humanity, destroy the earth, cause anthropogenic climate change. Oh, then my old rival, Gerald, head researcher at Wendy's, swooped in and created the bacon cheese potato. Of course, I knew such a feat was possible for years, but just because a baked potato scientist can do something doesn't mean they should do something. When I was captured, Gerald took all of my data on the theoretical potato physics and tried to implement the creation of Baked Potato 2. That's exactly why they built the underground facility. That's the only place Baked Potato 2 can grow. I should have known not to investigate every mystery of the universe. Some things are the realm of God, and I, a foolish scientist, wanted to know everything. Knowledge for its own sake is the devil's errand. And I just had nobody else. My grandson never visited.
Granddad, it's me, your grandson, Gerald. Stop dropping acid at Wendy's.